Hello, everyone. I'm Vaishnavi Jayadesai, Senior Assistant Editor at ETCISO. Welcome to this webinar by ETCISO and Bandon Cloud on building cyber resilience by securing public cloud and database infrastructure. The ability to deliver seamless customer experience and consistently, and to ensure continuity and recovery of operation does define your organization's security posture and cyber resilience. And as businesses continue on their cloud journey, the risk of cyber threats actually escalate, thereby putting mission-critical data and applications at stake. Also, the average cost of a data breach is now climbing, and the stakes for brand reputation and loyalty and trust are higher than ever. And organizations, therefore, have to move beyond traditional and periodic compliance checks. So what's the way forward, you ask? Let us tell you. This webinar, in association with Bandon Cloud, we will help unpack how businesses can strengthen their cybersecurity posture with a combination of continuous proactive approach to real-time monitoring. You will also get an insight into a 360-degree cybersecurity strategy that can provide comprehensive protection across both on-prem and cloud environment. For this webinar, I'm joined by an esteemed speaker, Nagesh Konduru, who's the founder and CEO of Bandon Cloud. Nagesh, welcome to the webinar.
Hi. Oh, Vaishnavi.
Nagesh is a senior technology executive, angel investor, and also an Apple veteran from Silicon Valley, USA. Nagesh, thank you so much for taking time out for this.
It's my pleasure.
We're so glad to have you on board. And while we let the stage to Nagesh and hear his insights on how a 360-degree cybersecurity strategy can be built, before we move there, I would request the audience to leave your questions that might come up during the presentation in the chat box, and we will address them to the best of our abilities at the end of the session. I repeat, I request the audience, if you have any questions, leave them in the chat box, and we will address them at the end of the session. Nagesh, now I invite you to begin your session. The floor is all yours. So here you go.
Perfect. Thank you, Vaishnavi, again, and thanks for having me here first. And welcome all of you, and I know it's good afternoon in India and US. And I do welcome to the webinar. Okay. And today, if you look at it, right, we're all living in the digital world, where the digital transformation is taking place across all the industry, all the sectors. That includes government, public, and private. Okay. And that's not only impacting our day-to-day life, it's impacting overall economy and dynamics of the world, actually. Digital world is dictating where the country is going ahead, it's good or positive. This all just happened just because of one thing, that's a rapid technological changes. Started with internet. It's, of course, it's 3 decades, let me tell you upfront, it's not new. This all started with internet, then mobile, then IoT, now AI, and quantum in the future. But we all enjoy the benefits of digitalization, but it comes with a price tag of cyber threat. So that can be disaster. That can nullify all the benefits we are enjoying in the digitalization. It can put us at risk. And today's webinar, as Vaishnavi said, I'll be focusing mainly on protecting the public clouds. And if you look at it, cloud is the most influential technological change in the enterprise IT than ever before, which is driving the digital transformation efforts. And also I'll be talking about database security, which holds the new currency of digital economy data. In reality, who holds and who use the data is the winner in this economy. Okay? Let me take to the slide deck. Let's look at the cybersecurity landscape. How does it look? The landscape of the threats and the risk associated with that. Okay? And if you look at industry-wide cyber threats, the hot hit industries are banking and finance. That's the number one. A lot of percentages of every year. It's published in a public domain. Okay. The next is IT and technology, and then manufacturing, government, and public and health. Okay. Sophisticated ransomware. Okay. You see AI is used more in ransomware than reality in production. That's up, quite frankly. And if you know, ransomware is being running as a ransomware as a service. And they reach a stage where it highly accurate and speed and scale. That's the reason it's pretty fast. They do it. It's difficult to beat them. And this is the most important for this today's seminar, at least, cloud environment. The new B in the market, that's a cloud, it's increased the targets. That's increased by 75%. 2022 to 5 is huge contribution to the threats. And supply chain attacks, what does it mean? You look at, it started all these attacks through web browser, then third-party softwares and open source artifacts. And if anyone using one software, which is open source, think about one malware getting to that, it can impact millions of users, right? That's why supply chain attack is very crucial in the cyber world. And crypto jacking, if you look at it, they can take entire control over a compute in a cloud. This is the most frequent happen. They can use your resources for mining the coins, right? So this is the fourth thing which we say it is a significant in the landscape. You know, what's the cost of cyber attack? If you really look at it, just see the numbers. Average cost, this is the global average cost. That of breach in 21 is $4.88 million. If you look at it in US, it's a $9.8 million. That's expensive. And highest average cost on any tech stack, it's a cloud. It's a 5 million plus, highest ever. So it means cloud is easily exploitable, right? That is the reason why you see the large data breach on a cloud. And it's a 10% increase over last year, at least as per Forbes. And ransom attacks, if you look at it, average cost. So on average, everything is $5 million, nothing less than that. It increased 75% compared to 2022 and 23. Okay, this is the most important. If you look at the organization who has an automation and AI, they can save $2 million on average compared to the companies who doesn't have any automation. So it's how crucial it is to have automation and AI. Look at this, staggering number, $10.5 trillion. It's a total cost of damages. Even I was just speechless when I saw this. It's a cybercrime is going to cost. I'm sure India GDP is $5 trillion, entire GDP, India. So this is $10.5 trillion, the cost of cyber crimes in 2025, that's a prediction. That much dependency we do have. Okay. Do you know exactly what is exactly causing the cyber? It's a misconfiguration. The most important is misconfiguration. It's not just the cloud I'm talking, it's the cyber incidents. 35% is misconfiguration. Even if you go and look at the endpoint production, 27%. So on average, the configuration is 30% easily. It doesn't matter infrastructure or endpoints, right? So that's what happens. Yeah. And if you look at it, why it happens, right? So why it happens is easy to set up, right? And awareness gap. So complex things. Usually what happens, right? Tech stack is getting very complex, okay? When the technique gets very complex, it has a lot of variables, a lot of configuration. And people made it very easy to set up. See that? You made a complex and easy to use it. That is a combination, the problems are happening. And what you have? You have an awareness gap. When you have awareness gap, the lack of talent, right? That all together is the one causing the issues. This is a poll question. We will take it from you guys.
Please display the poll question on screen for the audience.
Okay. We would like to know, what is your top security concern? Are you worried about ransomware? Are you worried about phishing attacks? Are you worried about data privacy and secure inside threats? I think there's a typo here, but basically if you look at data privacy and security and insider threats. Look at my slide deck. I think Zoom, there is a typo there. So data privacy worried and insider. We would really appreciate if you all can give your top concerns. It helps us for the right decision making of the product. And we also get the market right. Can take it out, full question.
So the choices between ransomware, phishing attacks, data privacy, and security.
And inside threats.
And augmenting.
Okay. Okay.
2 more seconds, Rakesh, and we will take it off screen.
Okay, perfect. Okay, nice. Thank you. I am very sure you all know what is GRC, right? Okay. So what happened for companies to be successful? The people take the GRC framework. Okay? Start with the governance. What happens in a company is policy development takes place to establish cybersecurity policies. And also, just quickly go through on that, just to recap on GRC, what it is, and how we can augment GRC. That's a thing I'm trying to showcase in this presentation is, you have a governance which has a policy development, which has a strategic alignment with your business objective, with the right leadership, with oversight of cybersecurity. Okay? Then you do have risk management, your policies, identification of risk. How do you identify the cyber threat with vulnerabilities? How do you do assessment to evaluate the impact on the likelihood of cyber risk? So you assess in advance so that you know how to handle it. And how do you reduce the mitigation strategies so that your assessment is right? And compliance. Regulatory compliance with security laws and standards. Based on your domain, based on the region where you're from, country and the place, you need to adhere to the regulatory compliance. So the company has a GRC framework by which you're trying to get a compliance and get ready, audit. Probably some companies every 6 months, some companies every year. Okay? People do audit runs. And also, they do regularly monitor and update the compliance. But when you have a GRC framework like this, how are you successfully implement and make sure that really GRC is supposed to be what it meant? You need a lot of tools, actually. I'm not talking of GRC tools. There's a different set of tools which I'll be talking, which can augment your GRC framework by which you'll be successful in implementing the framework. Okay, this is Bandon Cloud. Strongly believe, actually. Okay, at Bandon Cloud, we strongly believe that effective cyber protection is not achieved through a one-time audit check or regulatory compliance, but rather through a continuous process of monitoring and strengthening the end-to-end IT resilience. If you look at it, every company which is hacked, it's all compliant to standards, right? 27,001 SOC, it doesn't matter. Every company which is highlighted really, it's all public companies and they're all listed up. Then why it's getting hacked? Because the lack of continuous monitoring and strengthening. That's what we believed on this foundation principle, we build the product. Today's focus, I'll be doing on public cloud and database technology. If you look at it public as what's happening, you see an exponential growth of cloud adoption, okay, for business. At the same time, create a new opportunity for adversaries. The hacking has become very easy now in a public cloud as people adopting it. And lack of technology expertise, that's what we say. Okay? Do you have a talent for the tech stack and the cyber, both, right? And they have funny story, single point of failure for cloud providers. Okay? You all stick to one cloud, and you have a single point of failure. It is compared to your on-premise where you can have multiple data center with multiple co-locations, the different firewall setups. Now it's all going trusting on one vendor cloud. That's one other side of the story. In database technology, if you look at it, earlier we used to have only one relational database, seriously, even 10, 20 years back. Now hundreds of databases, but at least 5 to 6 are most popular. There are multiple database technologies you have to use in the digital world, especially internet, because you cannot use the same RDBMS for one use case. Okay? And based on my experience so far, people, even though they are migrating to cloud, they end up having cloud and on-prem. Now, where that on-prem is being used, it's being used for database infrastructure. Still, not 100% people are comfort on the cloud. They want application, they want to scale up and down, but they like to keep database on-premise. It's even the largest company on the earth, people do that even today. And the most important is database, which stores your customer data, your critical data, your finance data. That's the most ignored. You can really look at it. Okay? Everybody focus on the cloud, everybody focus on the application code quality, but the database instance is the most ignored in IT infrastructure, with the assumption that the database is sitting closely in its own firewalls, right? That's open where they need it to application. That is the reason they think it's secure, but it's not true. Okay. And challenges in the cloud security. I'm sure many of you, when I'm going through, you can recollect it. What happened, cloud? You increase attack surface. That's simple it is. So now businesses are running with many endpoints outside. You may be having object storage, S3 bucket. You may be having a lot of APIs outside public interface. You're also talking to other interfaces, other SaaS products in the market. So you increase your attack just because of everybody's in cloud, actually. You own your dependent systems in the market. And lack of visibility and control, okay? Because system is complex, ease of use, but lack of control and visibility. When I say control here, orchestration, visualization, and monitoring, everything. So we have really lack of controls, a lot of tools on the cloud. And misconfiguration. All this translate to misconfiguration. And a cloud, you go and look at everybody talks misconfiguration. The reason because I have various styles to talk, but it's just because we don't have enough knowledge. Ineffective IAM key management. What happens now? You have your own IAM, right? Access management. But do we know in our company who has access on what? The reason because on demand, everybody's provisioning the resources when they like it as part of your DevOps cycle and process. And also you're also granting. So in this process, it's very difficult because your nature of IT infrastructure orchestration is really dynamic. So in the process, people end up with a lot of loopholes in IAM key management. This is very impactful, actually. Shadow-IT. What does it mean, Shadow-IT? In reality, even a large companies, I don't want to like the name it, but you see that unless a very big companies, you don't have a standard typical IT with networking guys, sysadmins, database administrator, right? Now it's all SRE and DevOps. So people as a minimum knowledge, they're able to manage the critical technology on cloud. That is a major thing. And data breaches, of course, because we all have a data on the cloud. What can be? So it's more exposed visibility, right? So then data breach is the most happening on cloud. Insecure APIs. Itself is a big ocean, but of course, if you don't have a right way of securing your API, that's where you get into your entry point to your systems. And compliance issues. When I say compliance, as I said just a few minutes back, everybody's compliant to the regulator standard as per the auditor and in the certified. But reality, are you compliant on day-to-day basis? That nobody checks it unless there's a tool automation involved. These are the challenges we see in the cloud security. And here we just want to take, before we just go deep dive, really want to know what cloud tools are currently in use or being planned for adoption. This is a poll question. We'll get from Zoom also, so where you can participate. I think we'll have a minute or two.
Please display the poll question.
What we want to know is what cloud tools you are using it. Are you using any governance tools? Are you using any security tool by which you protect your cloud? And do you have any log monitoring where you're looking at your activities of cloud, right? Do you have any workload monitoring? Okay, so workload protection basically. Do you have any of these? Or for multiple, please feel free to. It's really helpful. Really want to look at the market trend in India, what's happening. Okay.
Display this for under 10 seconds and we'll take it.
Yeah, sure. It's multiple choice. You can select more than one. I'm sure most of people have more than one. You'll be surprised when anyone has a
more
one.
than one. Yes, yes.
Okay. How do you evolve the strategy for cyber resilience? I don't need to tell recently how many outages we all seen, right? With one cloud took down the entire world, how many businesses, every industry. So it's a time to think about multi-cloud strategy, seriously. If anyone's working on one cloud, if your business is critical, if you cannot afford outage, how would anyone thought going to cloud can cause outages hours? People went to cloud thinking there's no outage. So how do you go to multi-cloud strategy? The first thing is build cloud native application. So you need to build a cloud native applications so that you can port across multi-cloud, right? Otherwise, you cannot. You get affinity to the cloud, and you need to build cloud agnostic. That's the only way you can survive. And you can basically you can mitigate with all critical applications running on the cloud. And real-time monitoring. Now you're sitting on multi-cloud, multi-tech stack. So you need a strategy and a tool. Nobody should go and update any CMDB, right? You should have self-discovery of cloud resources. So it automatically takes care. And real-time detection of configuration and perform security check. It should be all automatic. So your automation tools, DevOps, very sophisticated tools are behind the cloud orchestration. So you need to have all this real-time monitoring. And go to cloud security tool. Because you build a cloud native application, so what you need is end-to-end security of cloud native application. That is a new acronym everybody uses. That's called code to cloud security. One tool for everything. So no more silos of cybersecurity tool. Honestly, it's so many tools we have, right? You can take from your code, you can take from data, right? You can frame info. Everywhere there are so many security tools. You don't need that many. And again, pen test is a different story. So you need to have end-to-end security tools for cloud native application. And this is the most important. I strongly suggest, and I do believe on that. You buy a product from someone, right? You are telling him how good it is. It doesn't work like that. So you need a vendor neutral security. Then you go and take one cloud provider, he gives, it's a free or very low cost security tool. It's never been. You always need to have a vendor neutral security tool, which is unbiased security monitoring, and which also makes your cloud migration easier. When I say cloud migration here, it can be on-premise to cloud and cloud to cloud. So you have third party, it's a cloud agnostic. You don't care that vendor neutral, right? So that's the only way you can tell security posture in both the clouds, previous cloud, new cloud. All the 365 degrees, you can tell unbiased. These four, we strongly suggest people to have with multi-cloud, real-time monitoring in place, and end-to-end security with vendor neutral tools. This is a way you should be at the high level, strategize to take care of these four components. So what is Bandon Cloud? This is the next generation cybersecurity platform built on data security first. Everyone was built on zero trust principle. With my own background, data security is the first thing I believe it. So the product entirely built it with one mission is protect the data, nothing else. So it means the platform is built with data security first principle. Okay? And if you look at the industry, this product is called CNAP, Cloud Native Application Protection Platform. But we have much more than that. CNAP Plus, you can call it. The reason because we do support on-premise for data. Because when we build a platform only for data security first principle, we cannot just stick to the cloud. So we go on cloud, on-premise, everywhere. So wherever the data is there, we want to secure it. There's a reason we cannot say 100% CNAP Plus actually, we have extra. What are we doing in this SaaS product? It's absolutely a SaaS product. Okay? It's a simplified onboarding and usage. Seamless integration. Easy onboarding of cloud tenants. Quick setup with minimal configuration. Very quick. Let me tell you, we never took more than 30 minutes. Seriously, even though we say, okay, 1 hour, it's all 15, 20 minutes. Okay. That quick, easy to set up. Unified experience with multiple clouds. Okay. Every cloud has a different experience, right? Different nomenclature they use it. So when you look at your multi-cloud security posture on a product like this, you would expect, right, to make it easy. So that's why we make a user-friendly interface. Very intuitive, easy to understand. Okay. Simplified navigation for all user level. You can take the lowest level from your SecOps analyst, your sysadmin, to take a CCO, CISO, CIO. It doesn't matter who's it. Everybody has a simplified navigation at their own level. Seriously tell you, we don't have a documentation. We don't know what it is. So it means the complexity of the infrastructure is simplified so well with the intuitive interface by which you hardly need any documentation. Agentless operation. No need for agent. When I say that, I'm very confident you are recollecting one agent of cybersecurity took down retail stores, e-commerce, airlines, everywhere. People stood in the airports for days just because agent architecture. So Bandon Cloud doesn't trust on it, and everything's built on agentless. Reduce management overhead, require read-only access. We just need a read-only access. That simple it is. And simplified governance is not just security, right? If you just go look at people sell as a CSPM, just cloud security posture management. We believe it's a governance and security. You cannot have security in isolation. So what we implemented in the product is, let's make unified governance by which you control multi-tech, multi-cloud, multi-region. If you have your business application running across multiple regions, in multiple clouds, it's all one place, ease of governance, and single pane of glass dashboard. It's a very comprehensive, actually. You can dev, staging, and the different applications, you can group it how you like it. It's very fine-grained governance, actually. Real-time asset discovery. This is what automatic discovery I was telling you. So it provides a governance, automatic self-discovery efforts in compliance-based identification. If you're what regulation you have, GDPR, SOC-based, and what controls you have. Based on that, you can visualize it, how they're depending on each other. And it's a continuous real-time. We don't do anything like hourly, we just get some assets. No, we don't. And real-time change detection. Self-discovery of changes. Okay, creation assets is okay. All the fun starts after when people started working on the product. So people are doing the changes. We do self-discovery. We literally create a version of changes in the product. Think like a Google Doc. Everybody can see versioning of the changes of a document. You can see it. Literally, you can see versioning of the changes, your infrastructure. Not even a cloud, you cannot go and find like that. We built a product. You can see the versioning of your changes in the cloud. And that's immediate and real-time. And real-time security monitoring. Okay. Automated detection and compliance. We do real-time threat detection and compliance checks. Immediate identification of vulnerabilities. Continuous monitoring of compliance. What are the regulations you can't create a product? We make sure that the respective regulatory standard is complete. Advanced customization. I am very confident most of the companies who already enforce cybersecurity, they already have controls. So we give facility to customer to customize, create the baselines. You can take your controls, you can put into Bandon Cloud, you can take our controls. And CIA triad. You can go and look at it in the industry. People don't even use CIA, right? Except very few exceptional cases, but people forgotten the reason because they say overall security. What is overall? Low, medium, high. We do not believe. You need to speak any control in terms of confidentiality, integrity, availability. Then you calculate what is the overall risk. Without CIA, there's no meaning. Based on your business, is it customer-facing application? Is it back-end application? How critical it is? Are you really worried about confidential? Are you really worried about the data integrity? So you can visualize how you want. You can configure these parameters, low, medium, high, by which it derives the values and the controls enforced. That low level you can customize it. And you can have exception handling. Let's say you have 100 servers, and let's say your compliance is very bad score, and really to a few servers, you don't want to be part of your compliance. Most of the people do manual work in the companies. The product gets you a lot of exception handling so that your posture looks to your executives as well as to the auditors. You can do exception handling very easily in the product. And so very comprehensive. Okay? We have very extensive range of security controls. We are CS benchmark compatible. It means every CS benchmark for every technology, all the clouds, all the technology we have Bandon Cloud, we are compliant to CS benchmark. And also, if a cloud has it, take example of any cloud, we have best practices for respective cloud. We do have it. We incorporate every standard, every security control, which we are aware of it in the product so that it helps you. And it's integrated solution for diverse environments. And continuous regulatory compliance, we support 30 plus regulations worldwide, because nowadays all the companies are worldwide actually. There are more than one country or multiple countries actually. And we adhere to a lot of global security standards. And region-wise, let's say you have application, you're running in 3 regions and liable for 3 regulations. You have same application, US, you're liable for one country. And you are in the Middle East, you're liable for something, right? You are in Europe, it may be GDPR. So same application, you are compliant to different regulations of different infrastructure, different regions. That's the first story here. You need to get certified respective regions or applications. This, let's say if you're in the Middle East, it doesn't care about a UI. So we've given a lot of fine-grained controls. You can go literally pick up the resources in one region on a Google map, seriously. You can go and look at how the security posture in this country, in this regulation. That level we show it. And we do have end-to-end SecOps. This is unified monitoring platform. I'm sure everybody knows SecOps. There are so many tools in SecOps. When we recommending people go for one platform which takes care of end-to-end cybersecurity monitoring, we also provide unified monitoring platform so that we have a centralized management for streamlined operations, and you don't need a disparate security solution. Seriously, if you have, let's say, 10, 15 tech stacks, even 5 tech stacks, you'll never need a single security tool other than Bandon Cloud, because the tech stack is supported for Bandon Cloud. That unified the product is. And eliminate silo tools. No more silo. This is the way you can. Otherwise, people have a lot of tools, nobody uses it. Everybody has a tools, do they use it? That's a problem. And the way we did it, the integrated approach, it creates a cohesive security management. It's very easy and very improved collaboration efficiency. If you look at a lot of teams over there, right? Most of the companies are different teams for different responsibility. How do you create one SecOps tool coordinate with everyone? It's not that easy. So everybody has to see the same security posture management, same dashboard. This is my favorite one, honestly. Reduce alert fatigue. What does it mean? Everybody gets hundreds of alerts. That depends on, let's say you have 1,000 resources, you have 100 resources. The team's pretty big. It translates really hundreds of thousands of alerts. It's no meaning. And people takes weeks and months, they don't fix it. So the product build up from the ground up based on this fundamental. You don't see in Bandon Cloud. If you want, you can see it. We give the both up viewpoints. If you want all the alerts, we give a viewpoint. If you want by default, we show redundancy. No, that good it is. And we focus notification to avoid overhead so that person knows exactly the infrastructure person who is an IT team under CIO. They know exactly, okay, if I go and apply this patch, it's going to fix this particular configuration to meet this control on n number of servers. That good it is, because there's no duplicate there. And very fast response, seriously. It reduces fatigue, it fixes probably 70% of noise in the IT actually. Auto remediation. When I say auto remediation here, you have very flexible remediation option. Okay? You can choose between on-demand and fully automatic remediation. What does it mean? On-demand means you click the button and you remediate, and fully remediate, we do it for you. It's just pre-configured. Okay? And because different security needs different purposes, we want to give a lot of options to them. And that's the only way you can control it. Few teams, maybe your L3 team, maybe your first level teams, probably they can do it. Some people cannot do it. So you don't want, then you can do fully automatic remediation. Okay? And the built-in approval workflow. Seriously telling you, I don't know any product which has inbuilt workflow, the security product. The remediation request within built approval process. We have, if you want to have, otherwise what happens is in the market, if you go and look at a product, let's say you got 300 alerts, 100 got remediated. When was it? Few yesterday, few were last week, few today morning, we don't know it. So typically in the production system, I don't think people like to run like that. You need to have an approval process. So if you go to on-demand choice in the Bandon Cloud, you can define the approval workflow. It adds a workflow, gets approval. After the workflow is approved, the remediation is enabled. That's simple it is. It's a very streamlined process to implement changes. It enhances accountability and oversight and the remediation what you're talking, right? In the same workflow, auto remediation process, we make sure that your security score updated. As it fixed it, immediately we pull the configuration, we check it, all your regulatory standards get updated. It makes sure ongoing compliance with security standard, because whenever you think fully automated remediation is nothing actually, just it happens, if we detect it, we fix it, we show the security compliance score. If you're on demand, literally you see in a minute, because you fixed it after workflow approvals, and then you see the positive score. If it's not 100% fixed, that also you see. Database security. It's a very comprehensive security tools actually. Okay? And very, very few products in the cloud, they show database security along with that, even if they show it's not comprehensive. When I'm saying comprehensive here, if you look at it, right, you have databases sitting as a PaaS service, platform as service on the cloud. You're sitting in infrastructure service, you're sitting on-premise. So when people sit in a cloud, they want to look at it, okay, is the database configured at the cloud level, PaaS? Is it secure? We do that as part of the cloud. We do database at the instance level. Did you configure correct every parameter, right? What about the object level, where you store your critical data? Example, PA data, it's a credit card data. The lowest level, we make sure that it's configured correct, and its coverage is covered, and ensure compliance is the standard. And data security everywhere. This is the acronym we use everywhere, because you have multiple instances, you have multiple applications, using multiple data technologies, wherever it is. So we follow the same thing. Start from the infra, go to the DB instance, go to the object level. It's a very consistent across all the environments, across tech stack. That helps us to maintain the data integrity confidentiality, because at the object level, we allow person to control it. Data first principles. What does it mean? So if you look at it, if you look at even a OSAP, a lot of standards out there, eventually what is cybersecurity? Eventually everybody wants your data, okay? It doesn't matter what nomenclature we are all using, everybody's trying to get in data. And now we are saying that you go to database instance, put that approach right, put a secure, okay? What we do is, we take the auditing. There are so many companies, even today, they don't enable auditing by thinking it's very expensive. No, it's only 1 to 2%. It's not expensive. The first thing is, you need to audit your database. So when you do that, all the critical operations, Bandon Cloud has a default configurations, how we want to audit and identify any abnormal actions in your system, any configuration changes in your system. At the same time, we allow customers to go, and you can do it. Whatever you want, you can go and do it. And what that helps you basically is, you can enable the low privilege management you can audit, because this is the most important, right? You have an application itself, forget a person. Application is supposed to do needs 5 permissions, but why do you grant 10 or 20 permissions to that application also? Because it can create a lot of exposure outside world, right? So you never ever do that. So that's the reason to be successful at the entitlement, you can call that in the cloud. So here data privilegement really helps a lot. Unified logging. End-to-end monitoring of all cloud resources. Okay. So we do have end-to-end cloud resources starting from VPC, subnet. We don't leave anything. Even when I talk to a customer, they say I have 30 resources, but I have 100. The reason, or sometimes 50, it doesn't matter what happens in non-billable resources. There are so many resources which you're not paying money for it. They come with a default setting. I would guarantee on many people doesn't know it. They're always thinking of a EC2, of a S3 bucket. But there's so many resources you are getting as part of your profession, which goes with that, and actions are happening on it. So what we do is, we get an activity of every resource, whether it's a billable or non-billable to you. And we get a visibility into your cloud operation. And database activity. Okay, cloud is good. What about database? Database, we take log of on-premise or PaaS, doesn't matter. And very detailed. You can configure how you like it, other than what Bandon Cloud says. And you can visualize it in a tool. Okay, right? And the second is Kubernetes. I just want to tell that this is also a product of it, just because the interest of time, we put in the databases and the cloud in this presentation, but we are in test next time. This is the most big thing happening with Kubernetes, is a container mode, right? People are building container applications, and 90% they are using Kubernetes. So we do support Kubernetes, for which logging also we enable. That's what it means. It means you have a cluster log, you have a data logs, you have a cloud log. And provides insight into Kubernetes operation, ensure consistent monitoring. network logs. It's not just security posture management. We do comprehensive logging of entire network traffic. So what it allows you is, because actually if you look at it, cloud is a shared responsibility, isn't it? Cloud is shared responsibility. They are secure. They make sure that DDoS, they are responsible on VPC. But if you have a public IPs open, all the customers are trying to log in, is it adversaries are trying to attack it from different places? So we read entire network traffic. This option is not necessary, but we suggest it. We take your network traffic, we will tell you who is trying to attack you, from where, with longitude, latitude, and what software they're trying to use. That precise we do it. And it's very comprehensive, you can do that. And just to summarize our key differentiators, this is agentless architecture, real-time posture monitoring, simplified governance, cloud and data security together in the product, continuous compliance, SecOps is inbuilt, advanced customization, auto remediation, all in one product. And this is single platform for cloud infra on-premise. There's something interesting here. There's so many people have their own private cloud, large companies. We can configure, it takes a couple of days, they can use it. We have inside rules engines, we have product built it. If they do not have it, we can do it. Because otherwise, private cloud, someone built in their companies, they do not have this. So we support all this. I'd like to share our current capabilities. If you look at, we covered, I'm sure, more than 90%. The most important AWS, 50% market, I'm sure. And in Asia, you see a lot in Microsoft Azure. We support Oracle, we support Google Cloud, we support IBM Cloud. All these clouds we support for all the regions. Actually, we become agnostic. So whenever we say that we support a particular cloud, we know that that region we support it, we know that regulatory standards also. So that is the reason we see a lot of regulatory standards. And multi-data technology. This is where all the critical data stores. You may have a lot of non-critical data sitting as an object storage as a files, right? The way we put in the product here is, if you have a critical data, it's sitting in this technology, relational data technology, correct? Look at here. You have Oracle, you have Postgres, Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL Integrate. This is where every critical data stored in. It can be bank, it's manufactured, doesn't matter. So this is the tech stack, they use it everywhere. And then we do support for all the clouds, you see it, and on-premise. We also have Kubernetes. Kubernetes is the most popular cluster orchestration right now for container world. We support all the 4 clouds. On AWS, people call EKS, and AKS, GKS, OKS. And you can have your own installation Kubernetes on cloud, we support it. Okay. The last one I want to share with you, shift left. I'm very confident you must be knowing what is shift left. This is a newly into the market. How about securing the cloud much before go live, right? It's your life cycle. Your life cycle is much before push, right? So we just being a cloud security company, what we want to do is, we took the Terraform, most extensively used, for that product. You maybe have a GitHub or GitLab, Bitbucket repos, whatever it is. And we are in the repo as an app. What we do is, once you go submit your PR, we read your Terraform file, we tell you in advance, this is not secure, go and create with a new syntax. We literally read your syntax, because IaaC is nothing but infrastructure as a code, right? So DevOps people automated so much, they're creating a provisioning, they're doing the changes in the cloud. We want to read the configuration changes and help the customers saying that is the change you're going to do. Cloud is good or bad. And then we already being a CSPM behind the scenes, we connected your operation from DevOps to the cloud. So we support the tech stack, what you see here. Terraform mostly used, and AWS Cloud Formation is there. There are a few cloud chiplets out there, but at least this is the stack we have it, and we are working on it, few of the staging and all. Okay. And yes, this is one question we want to take, regulator standards. Which regulator standard does your organization need to complete? Okay. Look at this. And we would like to hear from you based on your industry. You may be having two, maybe, but 27,000 are SOC 2, GDPR. If you're a credit card company, you must be having PCS, DSS. Actually, maybe multiple choices, honestly. But we would like to hear from you. The best one you can put it, even if multiple choice, unfortunately, we don't have multiple choice on it. And the most important regular standard you can just select. I would appreciate if you really can share this. I think few seconds it takes. You can participate on it. I'm sure in India, most of them 37,000. But different countries will have it, different standards of price. Okay. Here, okay. These are the supported compliances actually. Okay. 32, and we are working on it. We're almost at 38. So, even we started IT Act, in India, right? Just released it. We are ready to go live in a month. The standards of Bandon Cloud, how come complain to new regulations, even a SEBI released just a week ago, I guess. So we are already reviewing that. So we're very up to date on the regulatory compliance. So your InfoSec, IT, CISOs, they all see it. It's the lowest level you can see. Even IT guy, when he's fixing a security configuration on the tool, you can see it. That simple it is. Okay. And okay. We would like to take question and answers. This way, really I like to listen from you guys and talk more than me talking till now.
Thank you, Nagesh. Thank you for that insightful session. And the way you put things out and give us much clarity on the comprehensive cybersecurity strategy. Everyone benefits from that. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Well, now we'll move on to the questions that the audience have, and a few of questions that I have too. Sridhar wants to know, can we know the location of your monitoring platform situated? This must be region agnostic, right?
Yes, we built it actually multi-cloud. But frank with you, based on the customers we have it, we are in US, we are in the Middle East.
All right.
But when the audience comes in, we can do it. Because we build a product like that. We ourselves in marketing say that you should be cloud agnostic, region agnostic. The local law says you must be in that country, we can.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
He also wants to know on the on-prem deployment prerequisites.
On-prem, when I say here, Sridhar, it's a good question actually. We don't do infra monitoring. It's very complex, you know very well. Every on-prem is different actually. So, but we really focus on data. We really want to protect the data. We can on-premise, the way we configure is very different. We can connect it and then pull it. And more details we can definitely share it because we're not doing infra, absolutely. We can do Kubernetes clusters also if you're on-premise. And we can do on databases. We don't need even a firewall endpoint to get inside. We just give access so that you can write back to us. But we love to work with you offline after the webinar. If you guys wanted more details, we love to.
Okay. Do you have security report options, Nagesh?
Yes.
Okay.
If you really look at it, right, it's a SaaS product. Everybody is looking real time, right? But even today, for auditors, for executives, you need a report. Why would executives sit and look at entire your security posture by clicking the product, right? So we added two types of reports. One is executive report, like miniature version, so that quickly they can glance it. And the second is for techie guys, IT teams, very detailed report. Cloud, very small startups you run it, comes 30, 40 pages actually. Very drill down, very good. And also if you want, even today, there are people runs. Actually, a surprise, the customer asked us, would you give a report in Excel sheet? We didn't expect, we built it. So we can give a report even for Excel sheet consumption. Yes, we have a lot of options there for all the tech stack.
So which security model do you suggest for Gen AI environment, maybe on cloud or on-prem is what Milind wants to know.
What is the question? Sorry.
Which security model do you suggest for Gen AI environment?
Okay. Gen environment means is like info you're asking or using LLMs, right? So it depends on it. But eventually for us, if I don't know, your question is asking LLMs or suggestion for GenAI environment.
I think
But
this
eventually it's a,
it needs a
right?
suggestion.
Yeah. So if you look at GenAI, right, it's all depends on your environment, to be frank with you, right? So we see when we build a product, every control, right? Every control, when you look at it, it's a cloud. So what access points you have, whichever environments you are using a PaaS or IaaS, wherever environment, even on-prem, right? What access we have it, we do it. Because if you have controls, it's definitely we can talk on that because it's if you're using a PaaS service, it's a different ballgame. You don't get it. But if you're IaaS, you are using it, we can talk. Yes.
Okay. Can
Those are the
Bandon
use
Cloud,
case.
all right. Can Bandon Cloud deploy and hand over complete scope of monitoring to client in case of government and defense organizations by means of knowledge sharing and training?
That's a good question. Actually, nobody asked. In US, we put a .gov. Actually, that's the way it is. But till now, we did not get there. But it's possible. If the account is pretty big, why not? But just a SaaS product, right? We own the software. That's the thing, okay? But the reason, because at least the Western world, it runs on the .gov, so it's all shared by all the governments. It's a county or a state or everybody .gov runs on it. But yes, it's possible because it's so modular. We design it. Let's say this particular government entity, you want only this. It's a plug and play. That many Microsoft that product it is. Yes, absolutely feasible.
Okay. Do you have any plans?
Bigger clients. That's only for bigger clients. I'm just telling you. Because it's a SaaS product, right? So yes, it's possible. Absolutely possible. Go ahead, sir.
Next question is by Vikas. Do you have any plans for AI LLM based threats which can emerge because of bad actors in that space?
Yes, we do. Okay. So we are working a lot on the space and we want to be 100% A-backed. Okay, seriously. Okay. I'm not talking about the protecting AI, that's controls just out, but what I'm talking about, how to be efficient threats, because it's a tool, right? You're also creating LLMs models, right? So absolutely. So security is the right perfect use case for AI and LLMs. Yes, there are a lot of plans over there.
As a CEO, how do you prioritize cybersecurity investments vis-a-vis business growth while also focusing on business growth, sir?
Okay. So if you think, if I take any CEO, I will condition myself. I was myself carrying one of the largest portfolio actually before I start a company. So what the reality is, you just get into a culture of CEO and CISOs, executives. Okay. Once you think in your DNA, cybersecurity automatically, cybersecurity is not a cost center. Seriously. If you're thinking it's a cost, see, basically, if your expense center is IT, then your priority changes. Business, anything you can get a money, right? Your dollars. So you make cybersecurity the most highly priority along with your business application. Then everything ballgame changes. So your priority has to be business, but you cannot release a product without cybersecurity. That's what it has to be in the DNA. It has to be in the ingredient of your application, what you're building it. Then it works out. And I'm telling very honestly, I was there in part of many products. It's design itself, it has to be there. It's not just evolve later. It doesn't work. Then that question never rises because without software, you cannot build a product, right? Similarly, it is. That's how it should be. And that's a priority. There's no priority. It's a part of the system. That's what I would suggest.
Okay. So are the services annually contracted or do you have different tenure metrics in place?
For our model, cost model,
Are the services annually contracted or do you have any other tenure metrics in place?
actually, see, to be frank with you, it's a SaaS product, okay? But we would prefer, it's a monthly, but it's a SaaS, right? It's a monthly. But eventually we prefer always yearly billing. But if something large customers, we always talk on that. A lot of controls are in place. But yeah, we always prefer the monthly, even though monthly consumption, we see that, we would suggest is a yearly. But we can talk based on the client, to be frank with you. That's a realistic concept. Yes, there are a lot of options because it's a daily. It's a SaaS product, right? It doesn't work. Yeah. A lot of flexible options are there, yes.
So what trends in cybersecurity are you most concerned about? And how should companies prepare for them?
To be frank with you, I don't want to lie. Why did I use the end-to-end? To be frank with you, okay? What's the most here right now is ransomware. Okay? Is a data breach. It doesn't matter what it is, what the technical words, buzzwords, we can use it. for the webinar, but all the data breach. That is the reason for me, I always feel it's so bad that's ignored actually. So you must take a data breach is the most important. See, the data is where people want to make the money, right? But someone taking your compute, yeah, cryptojacking is okay. But for me, it's a data breach always. Because your brand, your reputation, think about the #1 company and they don't sell anything just once the image goes. I'm seriously telling you, it's all data breach. I worry only data breach, doesn't matter. Where is the data is sitting in object storage or critical systems. Okay? So that's what I worry the most, stealing of data.
Okay.
I don't want to see it in a black web.
Is AML compliance practice included?
In our product, we don't monitor
Yes.
AL. Yes, we don't do anything AL ML related, but in our product we use it. That's what I was telling you, right? We are making totally LLMs and all, but not for if you are using LLMs or AI anything. We don't have anything in the product right now to monitor and help it on that. It's too new to the industry, I think, but definitely we are there. We are working on that. That's very interesting area because we also are using it.
Do you have any roadmap for LLM capability?
Yes, yeah, seriously. So we do have, because who doesn't want LLMs now? Okay? People love it, but it's the right use case. But what can be better than cybersecurity and pharma industry, medical, right? That's why LLMs, okay? And we have a lot of use cases because look at the network data analysis. When you look at, right, even no matter how much we build a product, when you correlate a lot of ingestion of the logs from different tech stacks, no matter how much fancy we build it, it's too complex, right? So that's where we are building the product with LLM so that it's very easy, very fast, very accurate. So we're doing a lot of testing on this to get accuracy before release to end customers. Yes, absolutely. We will be LLM backed product. Yes.
All right, Nagesh, I think there were so many questions at
Perfect.
once. And they all
Absolutely.
came post a session and people were curious about
Yes.
also.
Yeah, absolutely. And then because what can be, when I saw this, when I was myself getting on the webinar, what can be a better topic than cyber resilient, honestly, right? So cyber resilient, we all talk, but you need to be cyber resilient as an individual, you need to be cyber hygiene. Yes. So if you don't have this, it doesn't matter what you do, right? And thanks for your time, actually. And then appreciate Vaishnavi and your team from Economic Times. And you guys awesome. It's a pleasure working with you guys. And all the people, and I will show the last slide, you always get connected on LinkedIn. And we are in US headquarters. We are in India, Bangalore and Hyderabad. We are in Dubai Internet City. And we have partners in London, Europe. But legally, we are in 3 countries. And we are in the Silicon Valley in both. That's where I'm talking from. And we are in Bangalore. So feel free to reach us anywhere we can help you and we can be part of your journey and how we can help.
Nagesh, a couple of people have requested for the presentation and how to ensure to send it to them, but yes.
Yes, we would.
Great.
We can share in PDF format and we can help you. Surely we can share.
I think that answers the question as well. With this, we come to the end of the discussion. Thank you so much, Nagesh, for taking time out. Yes. Our time zones are different, yet you made time. Thank you so much for that.
You made my morning time though, actually. My morning 3 a.m. But it's always, when you talk security, don't get sleep. But yeah, nice talking to all guys. And
thank you for sharing your insights.
Thanks.
We'll all really benefit
thanks for
from
joining.
it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, audience, for your time and the Bandon Cloud and ETCISO team for facilitating it. We'll see you soon. Till then, goodbye and have a great day ahead.